Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I wanted to give a shout out to our resident timestamper, R. Potter. He's been helping out by having timestamps ready to go right away, and he's now taking a shot at YouTube with his own channel. Check out the link to his first video in the description below and go say hi.
What's up guys, welcome back to Newswave. It's Friday, which for a lot of people is the best day of the week because you got the whole weekend to play some games, but more than likely you're just going to have to get other stuff done, but hopefully get a chance to play some games. Actually, let me know what you guys are going to be playing down in the comments. I'm curious to see what everyone's playing now as we get closer to, I guess, things like Assassin's Creed and some of the bigger stuff's going to be dropping throughout the holiday season. I'm curious to see if anyone has some backlog stuff to go through. As for today, we have quite a few things to go over. We got to talk about an interesting thing that's popped up that has me a bit concerned about the Switch trying to enter China, like, completely, as we hear that brought up every time at every investor's briefing. They always ask, what's the plan for China? We're going to talk about why there's a bit of a speed bump in the way right now with that. First, though, let's get into some of the quick news, starting with Fallout 76. Now, if you haven't been following this, Fallout was originally touted as we wanted to do crossplay, but Sony wasn't very helpful. If you remember Todd Howard talking about that, and, well, now there's crossplay. Kind of, at least with Fortnite. It seems like Sony's more open to it, and they're even investigating other third-party projects that could be doing it, and, well, Fallout's not doing crossplay. And apparently there's no plans to do crossplay at all, despite them saying they would have liked to have done crossplay, but Sony's not very helpful. Pete Hines even talked about it a bit on Twitter, that there were a bunch of contributing factors, essentially, that was stopping them from doing it, and now that has everyone getting pretty mad at them online about this, seemingly saying, hey, were you guys just using Sony as a scapegoat, and that's why you just want to try to not have to do crossplay, but you wanted to pretend like you did want to do crossplay? What's the deal here? Actually, what I think happened was, more than likely, during development, they probably explored crossplay, realized that Sony was not at all interested, and then they probably designed their game away from the idea of crossplay. Now, could they eventually do it? Yeah, I'm sure they could eventually do it, but I don't think it's going to happen like immediately after Sony announces, hey guys, we're good for crossplay now. There probably has to be a lot of stuff going in the background, including Sony saying, yes, let's do this, because they are investigating, as they said, or seeking out other possibilities. Fortnite is the first one, and that's even in a beta. Crossplay beta, what is that? But yeah, that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It would be something that would probably be done in updates going forward, as I'm sure this is going to be their games as a service game, I guess is what you call it. Yeah, so look forward down the road, but don't expect it, I would say personally, even in the first year. Next up, we got an announcement for Yokai Watch 3. If you've been waiting for this on the 3DS, you've been waiting for it to get localized, to leave Japan and go everywhere else in the world, well, we do have good news. It is coming to North America and Europe. It's coming to North America actually in February. That's happening February 3rd of 2019. As far as we can tell right now, Europe is just winter, is all they said. And of course, winter technically spans the later months of 2018 and the earlier months of 2019, so it could fall somewhere in there. Now, there are technically 3 different versions of this game, as I believe they had 2 that released, and they had like a definitive one later in Japan. This game like debuted back in like 2016 in Japan. That's how long it takes to get some of these games outside of Japan for Yokai Watch, and it does appear that Nintendo is helping to bring this game out and localize it and everything, so it sounds like they might even be doing some of, I guess, the publishing and everything, but you can at least look forward to it if you're a fan of Yokai Watch. There is, of course, that Nintendo Switch version that we keep seeing and everything. Now we're going to see, I guess, the 3rd one come over, so you can look forward to that next year. And then, I guess, winter time in Europe. Although, looking at this, I think it's going to be around the same time in Europe as well. And just winter time is just because they don't have a date at all thought of at this point. Oh, and as for that Shinin game that we talked about yesterday that was going to be announced, yeah, it got announced, but it was super anticlimactic. So think of what you wanted it to be. I mean, look at all the people out there saying, oh, what if it's F-Zero? What if they got the go-ahead to develop that after Fast RMX was so good? Yeah, it's Art of Balance. Now, if you don't know Art of Balance, this was actually a game back on WiiWare. It was ported to the 3DS and the Wii U, and now it's coming to the Switch. It's a puzzle game. I believe it's like 200 levels. It's addictive and everything. It's a good game. It got good Metacritic scores and everything, but I think we wanted more, right? Even like a new Fast RMX game or something. This feels I don't know. It feels like a letdown, I would say. I hope this isn't the only thing that Shinnen's been working on, because they're obviously talented with games like Fast RMX, showing that they know how to make a game. So maybe they have something else coming out, and this was just like a little project they were doing for a port. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, especially if you really like the game and maybe you're excited it's coming over. All right, guys, some of the quick stuff out of the way. Let's jump into some of the bigger news. I want to start with the Nintendo Switch in China. Now, of course, China fairly recently, in the past couple years, opened up the country to game consoles. Originally, it was banned, and it was a whole process to try to figure out how to get in there. Remember, the IQ player was there and everything that was technically representing Nintendo systems and like these plug-and-play systems and everything. Anyway, they're opened up to it. The PS4 is there and everything, and that and the Xbox haven't sold super well or anything, but people always look at the Switch and say, well, that would probably work well there, as long as the price is good. That's the problem. The pricing is usually pretty bad there when it comes to these products. But, of course, investors are at least interested and possibly excited about the idea of the Switch releasing there, because that's a very large audience that it could release to. But Nintendo has been, they haven't been super interested or excited about it. They always talk about looking at it, and now it sounds like more information has come out that's going to make it harder, and a lot of that has to do with the Nintendo Online. Now, there are people on Twitter who have been talking about their inability to play Nintendo Online in China, and a lot of that has to do with the servers that they are now using, which appear to be Google servers. This is actually a tweet from Chinese Nintendo, and it's a Twitter account that actually follows the news for Chinese speaking, just Nintendo fans in general, and this is what they had to say. After Nintendo Switch Online memberships officially rolled out yesterday, many Chinese gamers have suffered with black screens and connection failures in Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Tests have shown that it is probably due to the introduction of Google-based servers. Now, people in China have been able to get it because it does appear that it was launched in Hong Kong and everything, so while not everybody in China even has the ability to get one, there are some there that have them, and of course, I guess you could technically like import them, and I'm sure there's other ways. I believe from what I've seen online, and other people have talked about, some shops even import them and then sell them at a higher amount, because of course the Switch is region free, and there are actually some games that just straight up support Chinese language options, so there you go. The problem now is Google has a bit of a hard time in China, as they're pretty much banned from China. So certain games, like apparently Rocket League, just never worked there because they use Google servers, and it appears that Nintendo is using Google servers for the Nintendo Online, and it's not working in China. And this is an odd situation in the first place, because of course this is technically China versus Google, and Nintendo is just technically part of it because they're using Google servers. Now, I don't know how that will ever get worked out, at least anytime soon, because I know this is a whole situation with China, their government and everything, and Google, so that's gonna have to be something that they would figure out. I don't know if Nintendo would switch their entire servers and everything just to enter a region like China. There's definitely some potential there, but growth that's been seen with other systems wouldn't make me, as the head of Nintendo, say, yeah, let's change our servers completely, because they're not selling super well. That's a big risk to take just for that. So until it gets smoothed out there, if it ever does, this is an odd obstacle to work around, because it's not necessarily in Nintendo's control with what's going on. They went with, obviously, a good company for servers and everything with Google, but China doesn't like them. So it's not looking good if Nintendo wants to launch there, as not everything works there. Nintendo Online, now you can of course use like a VPN and kind of like a proxy and get around that, but that's just more stuff you have to do when consoles are supposed to mostly be plug and play and a cartridge, or you download something. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. Do you think this is a massive problem for Nintendo if they ever want to enter China? Because for a while it looked like they were building up to do so with acquisitions like, Arena of Valor launching on there and stuff, and now we find out that half of the online service based on the servers and stuff that are being used, like I think Fortnite still works there, but like Rocket League doesn't. So it's like hit or miss apparently. We just heard that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Splatoon 2 don't work. So it's interesting. Let me know, guys, how you think this affects them down below. Next up, let's talk about an interesting, I guess, development in the headset space. You go up to your computer, your laptop, your game console, you put some headphones on, you listen, you start playing, right? Well, what if those headphones had haptic feedback, so you could not only hear stuff going on, but you could more or less feel stuff that's going on? Well, Razer wants to do that, and they are introducing a new product that you're seeing here at the Nari Ultimate. And what is this exactly? Well, apparently it's going to be outfitted with what they call Razer HyperSense, And it literally is haptic feedback for each ear, so that, let's say, somebody is running around behind you. Well, not only will you hear the footsteps like we've done in Call of Duty, where people were upgrading to those really nice Turtle Beach headsets because you could hear people behind you and turn around and get them before they got you, you would actually feel that in your ear or on the side of your head, I guess. So if somebody was walking, you would hear little vibrations, feel little vibrations in your ear. Haptic feedback would, I guess, be similar to what the Switch uses for its Joy-Con controller. Similar to that, not like the rumble in like a PS4, Xbox One controller. That would be terrible against the side of your head. But like much more subtle vibrations and stuff taking place around you. I've thought about it, and I think that would be a cool idea and just another way to kind of get you more immersed in what's going on. As long as it's not too violent with the sides of your heads, I think it would be interesting. Now, is it worth the price tag? We'd have to see if games would actually take advantage of it, or if it'd just be a nice little novelty that you eventually turn off. For example, I turn off Rumble when I play Halo on my Xbox because it just messes you up at times and it really isn't that immersive. But certain games with HD Rumble on the Switch, I will leave them on because they actually take advantage of it. Now, ones that don't and it just rumbles like crazy in your hand, yeah, turn it off. But this is interesting. Let me know what you guys think about a headset that has haptic feedback on the side of your head. Next up, let's talk about a new game that was announced yesterday, and it's coming to all game console platforms, Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, and that is, as you're seeing the trailer here, Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption, and that is actually coming out October 18th. Now, it was described as a game that is for a fan of Dark Souls, but wants more of, say, a boss rush style game. Now, they are out sending review copies and stuff out to people on YouTube, reviewers and everything. Max, Dreamcast guy's actually been playing the game, and he'll have his review up and everything for it, I'm sure, as he's been playing through the game. And I'll be checking it out as well. I'm very curious to see this game on the Switch, as I know a lot of people are always curious about performance with the Switch, right? So I'm going to check that out as well just to see. But the idea of more of a Dark Souls boss rush style game is more interesting, as generally when you play a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne or any game like that, usually the bosses are the most memorable parts of the game, and the stuff in between is, well, just that. It's the stuff in between. So I like the idea. I'll be checking it out just to see how good it is and how it performs on the Switch. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. Whenever I get the key or whenever it comes out even, we'll be checking it out. And our last bit of news, let's talk about this Battle Royale phenomenon that is just, it's invading everything. It's on every platform pretty much right now, even your cell phones with Fortnite and cell phones, and everybody seems to be playing it. It's even part of this year's Call of Duty and Battlefield. Maybe, I don't know what's going on with Battlefield anymore, but Call of Duty definitely, right? Well, what if we had Battle Royale and, I don't know, something like Doom? Not 2016 Doom, the original Doom. Well, that's actually a reality right now, or it's going to be soon, as it's a mod that is technically in progress and they're testing it and everything. They even have full video out and everything that you're seeing now. This is actually done by Retro Dex Gaming, and they probably have one of the best names for it, by the way. It's called Doom Royale with Cheese, and the idea is to actually allow 64 players to basically participate in, again, a double-barrel shotgun battle royale mode. And not only will it will have all kinds of things like a shrinking playfield, of course, ammunition you walk around, weapons scavenging. It's going to be really cool to see this, and it's just people bringing back old school games and adding, technically, the new trend, the new flair to that game. And right now it's in testing. They have it on their own servers and they're just playing around with it and stuff, but you can actually download the files at ModDB and try it out if you'd like for yourself. I'll actually leave a link down in the description for the ModDB directory where you can go out and try it yourself and to see what Battle Royale with cheese looks like on the original Doom. And guys, that's gonna do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, it really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is this interesting China situation for Nintendo, as they have chosen Google servers that are banned in China, and that kind of makes it a bit of an issue for a lot of their games that they are using the servers for, like syncing up the peer-to-peer connections. You do use a server technically for that. People are thinking dedicated servers, use a server peer-to-peer. Is that an issue, and will that affect Nintendo and possibly releasing in China in the future? I'm very curious. Or what about the Doom Battle Royale with cheese, or the Sinner Dark Souls style game? Let me know, guys, down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.